All right, going to do some requests today, and then I'm going to go over some other tickers that play heavily into the market. I have this retracement already set up here, and in 2008, SOXX, one of the requested tickers, the iShares Semiconductor ETF, bottomed at 22 bucks, went all the way to 559 in January of this year, and it's already retraced past the 50% retracement in 2022. And so I think this is pretty obviously just the first wave right here. This is a first wave right here. And so since we've already hit the 50% retracement, we know that this is a second wave. So then zooming in farther here on the weekly time frame, this stock is above the 20, below the 50, and where's the 200 at? 200 down here. It is above the 200 now too, but it's still below the 50. So it's decently bullish short term so far. If we look at this whole, actually, you know what? First, let's see where the 0.61 fib is. So So 0.61 is here at 231. I'm going to mark that as well. And now, okay, so we got on the weekly time frame, I already have it mapped out here. This whole move right here looks like W, X, and then I'm looking at this as ABC. If we zoom in here, we can look at it on a smaller time frame. This move right here just looks like a corrective move to me. So ABC, corrective move. B wave right here, this is clearly a, well, it looks to me like it is a corrective move as well. Let's just zoom in here. And you know, another thing that's very telling too is it hit the 200 on the daily almost perfectly and then backed right off. So I think that's a pretty bearish sign. You'd want it to get above the 200-day moving average. And so if we look at, this is W right here, we can look at where is the 1.61 fib at. That's sitting down here at 182. I don't think it's necessarily going to go there, but I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Because remember, the 50 of this 0.61 fib is here at 230. So we have A, B, and also if we draw our parallel lines, you can see the intersection of the 0.61 fib is at April 19th of next year at 230. We also have the these other markings right here. That has to do with the B wave going to 390. This being at 425, so about 35 points lower than this is 252. So I have that marked as well as another point. That's in February. We would hit that. So February or April at the 229 to 254 would be my targets for the C wave. If it really went farther and went to the 1.61 fib, that would be at 182, and that would probably be way out in the end of 2023. That would look something like this. But based on how far this B wave is retraced, the most likely target is going to be around 250 to 255, somewhere in there. And so I would expect that to hit sometime in February. I mean, that goes right along with my overall market forecast as well, if you watch the SPY videos. So basically, WXY is the most likely scenario sometime in February, right there. And then we look at that, that'd be about the 50% retracement, I think. Let me double check where that's at. Okay, 50% retracement. No, that's at 292. So this is going to be, actually the 0.61 is at 230. So basically in between the 0.5 and 0.61 fibs, somewhere between 230 and 250 would be a good target for the last wave down. And then if you're holding on to this, that would be a good time to buy, because obviously semiconductors are very valuable right now. I mean, for computers and everything. So the third wave is going to take this to $893. So you can basically 3 or 4 times your money if you buy down here at 250. I mean, that might take years. That might take 10 or 15 years, but third wave should take it that high. So that's SOXX. I'm going to go ahead and do Tesla now. Tesla wasn't requested, but obviously a very important stock in the market. And so if you look here at the daily time frame, I already have it marked out. It's kind of an interesting correction. It wasn't like a lot of the other stocks, but I see it as A, B, C, W, and then we get A, B, C, X, so WX, and then it looks to me like we got A, B here, and we're working on C. The question is, on this last move right here, it's kind of a funky move. It looks to me like A, B, and then it looks like we're in, I'm sorry, A, B, C right here. So A, B, C, and then we got, so I think it's actually going to end up being like a WXY move. So everything is WXY. So I guess you could call this a double 3 too, but it's easier. So WXY, and then we're looking at WXY, kind of like that. As far as, that's basically a double 3, by the way. It's a double zigzag. The 1.61 fib of the first W is where it can't go by to be a WXY. So 126.26 is the invalidation level. Go ahead and mark that. And I'll zoom out here in a second. And then also, if this is ABCW and we're working on the X wave right here, then we can also use the 1.61 fib of that is at 121.92. We know it's not going to go there because it can't go past 126. So we can also draw our parallel lines. By the way, I think this is probably going to go up a little bit higher. I was looking at 207 for some reason. I don't remember why. But let's say we go to 207. We can draw a parallel line here as well. And then let's look at fib levels here. We know we can't go past 126. I would say anywhere from 148 to 126 will be the target. So that's going to happen. Let's say we go to 136, which I don't remember where I got that one from. Let me see. I think 136 is on December 22nd, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's probably going to be dragged out here to around the same time frame, and it's probably going to hit the middle area, since that makes more sense. This will be out here probably somewhere in February or so. So I would expect this to come up here to like 207 and then start making a move down here to anywhere from 148 all the way down to 126 for a bottom on Tesla. And if we zoom out here on the monthly time frame, this again has finished a first overall wave. And so we're looking at pullback at least to 208. We've already passed that. And then we got the 1.61 fib at 159. Usually second waves don't go past $89, and I'm projecting 148 to 126, so a little bit past the 0.61 fib. But right now, on lower time frames, we're looking at this whole thing as being, we're in the X wave right now. So basically this is ABC. And let's look at lower time frames now and just see where it's at within this B wave. It looks like a lot of the other ones, it looks like it finished A, B, and then we have A, B, C is going to be up here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Targets for the B wave before I would start shorting, if you want to go short on this stock, would be 201 all the way up to 203. So I think it's basically going to hit 200 and then go down to like 148 to 136 to complete the overall WXY that started back in January. So that's Tesla 200 and then 148, 136. Next one is BULZ. BULZ. This one is a leveraged ETF, and those have like decay in them, and so I wouldn't recommend like staying in this one for very long. And so I think that looking at a long-term chart is kind of it's not going to show you that much because it's always going to be decaying. But if I were to look at this one, I looked at it yesterday. It looks to me like it is in a fourth wave. So we have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're working on a fifth wave. Within that fifth wave, it looks to me like 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I would look for this to come down even more. I would look for this is going to give me a bad. It's going to go negative if I do my normal strategy, which is this. It's not going to take. It's going to take it negative, so I can't do that. I would look for. We zoom in here. It can't go any longer than this. This was 40 points. We're at what, 20 or 30 bucks? You're just going to look for anything down here in, it's got to break below the third wave, so at 2093. So we know it's going to go below 2093. I would look for it to, down in this area, you might want to buy, but let's see. Oh, I used this. This is what I did. So the target, I would say the 0.61 fib is not a bad target either, but that's at $7. So again, the technical analysis on this is a lot harder because it's a leverage ETF, but we do know that it's going to go below 2076, most likely in the next, probably in the next 3 months, just like the overall market. So look out for that one to go a little bit lower, below 2093. And if you want to buy it, I would probably wait for it to go like this, pull back, buy right there, and then put a stop below the low. So that's the advice on that one. Next one is, let's look at NVDA. And I have not looked at this chart in a while, so we'll have to see what it looks like. So we'll zoom out first. So on the monthly time frame, again, where did this bottom at? Looks like 2008, right? Nope, it has not bottomed since 99. So for how much this is retraced, again, the cycle is pretty much over, so you can pretty much guarantee this is the end of the first wave. So go ahead and assume that the retrace levels, again, we're looking at, just like the other stocks, are 0.5 fib at 173, which it's already under that. The next one is the 0.61 fib at 132. So now if we zoom in, we got A, so AB, and then we got a C wave right here, or it doesn't look like it's a very short X wave. This actually looks like almost a 5-wave move. Let me double check on that. Looks like a 5-wave move to me on the weekly time frame. So on this one, it looks like we got so that's 1, pull back 2, 3, 4, 5. If that's the case, then let's zoom in here on this third wave though. I want to make sure it's an impulsive move. Looks pretty corrective to me. So it's not actually a 5-wave move. I was going to say that would go a lot lower, and this looks really corrective. Looks like A, B, C, and then we got A, B, C. So this is actually what I had labeled before. Looks like W, X, Y. But it looks like the WXY might have ended down in here. So we got A, B, C, B, A, B, C. That's what it looks like to me. So it looks like W, X, Y. And it's already retraced to where we would expect it to retrace for a second wave. So potentially, actually in the video, it looks like it potentially could have bottomed. But we gotta watch and just see what's going on here, because maybe WX this is ABC, yeah, WXY, it looks good to me. So on the daily time frame now, you'd want this to be impulsive, but it looks like it's potentially corrective. It's definitely a corrective move. So I don't know if this is bottomed yet, but it's already hit the price target for the pullback from the long-term chart. And so based on that, this might actually be this could be What is the 1.61 fib of the W wave? I think that this is actually, because if you see this, it can't go past the 1.61 fib for it to be WXY. I think there's a good chance that we're looking at it like this actually. And then this is ABC right here, or this is the X wave right here. It's a small X wave. It would end up being like this. This would end up being A, B, C, like that. So if this is the case, then it's going to be retracing a lot farther. It's kind of confusing because it's already hit the price levels you would think would be for a good pullback. But maybe all those issues with the semiconductors and like all, they had a bad, their earnings, they said that they were going to have less revenue in the future, or they had some kind of guidance that was lower for next quarter. And so, not that that really matters as much for the share price based on technical analysis, but there's potential that this is either going to be X right here, or this is A, B, C right here, and this ends up being, a full thing ends up being A, B, and then a C wave down here. So that's kind of what I think on that one. That's kind of a tricky one, I guess. Because this move did not come up very high at all. It almost seems like it should be going up higher here. If we're going to do a expanded flat, it would come all the way up here to 215, all the way to 247. So I guess we'll see on this one. It's kind of a confusing one. If it already topped here, then I would look for this to go down to probably the 1.23 fib here at like 88 bucks. So we'll have to see on that one. That one's kind of confusing, but I don't think this move is not impulsive, so I wouldn't say it bottomed. I think the most likely thing is what I just showed you, going down to like 88 bucks maybe on the next fall. And there's kind of a, is there a gap right here, a little gap right there. Yeah, maybe coming down here to like 80 bucks and filling this gap right here. Getting here, maybe hitting the top of this as well would be a good target. That might be around the 0.78 fib. And that's about as far as it can go for a second wave. So basically W, X, Y, and then this is either going to be X or A, B, C, X, and then one more move down here, probably an A, B, C move down lower. So there's the video. Let's do Meta. I haven't done Meta in a while. Meta, last time I did it, I thought it was going to go fill the gap. I think it filled that gap, didn't it? Yep, filled that gap. I had it here at 122, and that's what I was looking for this pullback right here. So I already have this charted right here. So and looking at this as well, if you zoom out here, something that I noticed that I made a mistake on last time is I think that this is actually just a extremely big expanded flat to me, because if you look at this move right here, it's this move right here looks very corrective. So trying to think. So looking back here at like where it bottomed before, we've already hit the 0.78 fib. So I think that this is actually a huge, so A, B, C right here, A wave right here, B, and then a C wave right here. We've already started the C wave. And so we're looking in here at what we're at on this final wave. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we got 1, 2, 3 right here. And if you watched the video before, I said we're going to go fill this gap right here at 122.59. We hit that on Friday, actually, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, we just hit that on Friday. And this is an ABC move. You can see it pretty clearly. And so I would be looking for this. It might go a little bit higher, but it did fill the gap. Potentially, I could see this going to maybe like 129, 130, 128, 130, something like that. And then we're looking for one more move down, just like all the rest of the stocks. They're all looking for one more move down. And I'm looking for I don't know if we'll go that low. Probably going to target on this one, probably going to target anywhere from the 0.38 fib all the way down to the 0.5 fib. Now we're getting a little bit too far on this one, I think. It's already gone down so far that I wouldn't be surprised if it just barely came down below this on the next dip. And that was it. So I'm not going to say it's going to come all the way down here to my normal targets of $40. That doesn't make sense for this company. So I would look for this to, let's just double check, make sure this is correct move too. Yeah, it's definitely corrective. So we're looking for this to just dip and break below 88 again, one more time to complete the overall fifth wave, and that would be it. So again, one more move on this to complete it, and then we're looking for a start for the next wave. Where can the next wave go? We're talking next wave can go for Meta all the way to 613. At that point, they're probably going to do a reverse split or something. Or not a reverse split, I'm sorry, a forward split or whatever. 613, so 1, 2, 3, 613. So there's Meta. Do Amazon next. Amazon. Monthly time frame. Topped in July of 2021. First thing, I guess, is again another one where you can see it's starting a second wave. And so I think that's what's going on with a lot of these companies is they're struggling because they're actually in a second wave. Like if you look at IWM, it's in the second wave. And so it's like it's just a really bad time for the overall stock or the overall thing. So we're looking at targets of 94 all the way down to 71. I already got that marked. And where are we at now? So weekly time frame. So same thing, we got WX already hit the Y target. So I guess this is probably maybe. I think it's actually this W right here. X is right here. So we have A, B, C, W, X, and it has 1.61 fib is at 48 bucks, but that's a little bit too far, I think. Let's see where we're at on this move. These corrective moves. So again, this is another what looks like A, B, C. Then we got X right here, or B. And then this is either going to be, this could just be A, B, C as well. So if that's the case, we can also look at the 1.61 fib of this is at $64. And the 1.23 is at 77. So anywhere from 77 to $64 would be my target. And then of course we got the 0.61 fib here at 72. So $72 is a pretty good target. But the overall look of this is let's see, A, B, C, A, B, C. We got A, B, C. And this overall is going to end up being, the whole thing is WXY. I'm just using ABC to show you. A, B, C. Like basically this whole thing is just WXY moves. But corrective moves all around. Look for $72 to $64 being the bottom. And then on Amazon, the next target on the high would be, we're looking at $305 on the next move higher. So this is an overall first wave, same thing. First wave, we got second wave coming down here to 70, and then 300 bucks on the next move higher. Okay, next stop. Taking a while on these. Okay, so those are some of the more popular stocks. I'm gonna do one a little bit different. It's a stock I'm actually in, and it's a dividend stock. SCHD. It's one of the best dividend stocks in my opinion. This stock I love this stock. It does not hardly lose anything on any of these dips. Look at this move back up here. Almost back to all-time highs. This stock, I'm just going to look at this is just another ABC move. So it looks like this would be either the start of the move higher. Let's look at and see if it's an impulsive move. Looks pretty impulsive to me. This is either bottom or it's going to be the exact same thing as everything else, which is it's going to end up being but honestly, for how far it's gone up, almost at all-time highs, it's going to end up being like, if it comes down below here, it's going to end up being barely below. We're looking at like maybe down in this area right here, $63, $62, something like that. And so it looks pretty good to me. I'm just dollar cost averaging into this one. So I just do a little bit each week. And yeah, if it comes down here, I will put a good chunk in there. It could potentially come down here and hit the top of this too at 59 bucks. Another thing to look at. But yeah, it looks really good. That's one of the most the best performing stocks that I have this year. We got XLF. I went over this the other day, and it is still completing its B wave. And so we're looking at, again, the 50% retracement is here at 23 bucks. I expect the financial sector to be one of the hardest hit over the next 3 to 6 months. So whenever we bottom out in the overall market, I expect the financial sector to pretty much be leading the way. So look for this to go to a minimum of 23 bucks and maybe 22 bucks. The 50% retracement is at right where I put it, 22 bucks. Could have come all the way down here to 18 bucks. So I wouldn't expect it to go past 18 bucks probably, but 22 bucks is pretty much guaranteed from what I can see. Let me just make sure this is completed already on the yeah, it's a pretty the weekly time frame. It almost looks corrective, but I know it's not. Yeah, so look for 22 bucks on that one. Next one is XLE. XLE, again, still looking for this move to play out. And was it positive this week? It was negative. Or this week, let's see if it was positive or negative. So we had a barely negative week, but I think that's the fourth wave. We're still looking for one more move higher. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking at one more move in this, and it's going to take it to probably 101 to 105 would be the top of this, and then we can expect a sell-off because we got A, B, C. We're looking probably for another minimum 0.38 fib, maybe 0.23. So we're looking at 85 bucks all the way down to probably $62 after this tops. So the whole thing would end up being we're working on a B wave after we top here, and then we get a C wave higher. So that would probably take a couple of years too for the B wave to play out. So basically I'm saying that XLE is pretty much almost topped out. It's probably got, let's see how long this took. It's probably going to top out within the next month or so. So we'll see how that goes, but expect a pullback after it hits about 105. I think that's it for now. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just remember that the dollar is probably going to go to 120 over the next 3 to 6 months as well. And that's another reason why all of these charts kind of line up for what I think they're going to do as the most likely play. So look for that to happen, and that's pretty much it. If you have any other tickers you want done, then I can probably do them next week or maybe sometime during the week. Let me know what you want to have done, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. All right, have a good weekend, and good luck tomorrow. Hopefully all of us make some money.